This is a story about the strangest international sporting competition you're ever likely to see. It involves real armour and real weapons.
Impressive. I won't be able to do that.
And a small band of very brave Australians who are about to take on the best in the world.
What do you put your eyes on?
Good, good. Having never seen them fight, good.
10 more seconds of the Trogir.
I first meet Paul Smith at a sleepy RSL in country Queensland. Here he toils in the kitchen in the rarely glamorous role of head cook.
It's not like it is on telly, that's for sure. How can you hype up cutting up a tomato?
It's not until the weekends that Paul's skills with a blade really draw a crowd.
My lords, do you swear before Almighty God and St. George that you will act in a chivalric manner?
We do.
Today, Paul and his fellow swordsmen are putting on demonstration fights to amuse the locals.
My lord, for honour, LA!
Paul's group started out doing light-hearted reenactments, the kind of thing you might have seen at Renaissance fairs.
He weakened!
But that's grown into competitive, full-contact armoured fighting like this.
Well struck, fellow!
In fact, Paul is about to captain an Australian team at the international pinnacle of medieval fighting, a tournament in Croatia called the Battle of the Nations.
The Battle of the Nations is, in my view, is probably the closest thing we're ever going to get to actual medieval combat. 33 countries go. We fought the Americans. That was our last fight last year. That was pretty good. We got, pretty well trounced, but it was good to come up against them and have a bash, It's just pretty brutal and intense.
Would you like to take them down this year?
Oh, if we were capable of doing it, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
I was impressed by Paul's quiet determination to take on the USA. But I have to admit that seeing them fight, at the Gameri Pumpkin Festival, no less, it was hard to imagine medieval combat as an actual international sport.
Well fought, Irishman. To the lenient.
Do you ever feel like it's a bit silly to still be doing that?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. I mean, what's the point in working and doing all these laborious tasks that you do without having some enjoyment in your life?
Down in Sydney, I meet another one of the team, Tim Reeves. For Tim, it's the sport's historical side that's a big part of its appeal.
The family heritage is Scottish. I've done a fair bit of research and found links to sort of 14th century tournaments in my own heritage. So I've tried to use that side of the family to actually sort of put the kit together.
To Tim's surprise, he's also found that it's his helmet that gives him the strongest sense of how his knightly ancestors must have felt.
I still feel like myself until I put the visor down.
And then how do you feel?
Now I feel sort of prepared to go to war, really. It's just a different state of mind. What I can hear is different. I can hear my breathing. It really does just make you feel invincible, I suppose.
So I'm working on a new Mongolian brigandine for Sky. So brigandine is a style of armour which is made up of a lot of small overlapping plates.
Preparing for this sport isn't easy. Either you order a suit for thousands of dollars from overseas armourers, or you can painstakingly make it yourself. But Bryce Lightbody isn't making this suit for him. It's for his girlfriend, Sky Burney, who loves Mongolian armour.
Well, I am a bit geeky and nerdy, I guess. I was in the library every chance I got, just reading books, writing stories, poetry, and all that kind of stuff.
And those kids are normally assumed to be a bit powerless.
Yes, yeah, I guess, yeah.
So is there part of this that's about going, you know what, stuff you,
Yes.
I'm gonna own, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to turn this around and just shove it all in your face, show you that I wasn't what you thought I was.
This is the first year that women will be fighting in the Battle of the Nations tournament. Sky will be competing in one-on-one duels.
Are you guys gonna have a fight?
It's being proud to be over there and actually fighting for your country, as well as getting your footnote in history saying that you're one of the first women to compete in a mainly men's sport.
Are you fighting a shield in the web? You're a woman! It's impossible for a woman to fight.
Try and stop me! Once you get that signal where you have to start fighting, you just forget about everything, you just start wailing on the people.
Set 5 seconds, go. 4, 3, 2, 1.
With the tournament looming, the squad's training gets more intense. They take this every bit as seriously as the footballers training nearby.
Maybe we should go tackle them.
Apparently, it's no joke trying to run and manoeuvre, wearing up to 30 kilos of armour.
I don't walk out onto the field and feel like I'm a knight that needs to be chivalrous. It's not reenactment to that level. It's it's a sport that I want to compete in.
You just want to beat someone to the ground.
Yeah, yeah.
Good hit. Go again. Oh, it could have been better. That's right. A bit more speed in the impact.
This is Trogir. It's a stunningly beautiful island off the coast of Croatia that's home to a tiny 12th century walled village.
The location's perfect. Yeah, it's awesome.
And it's where, after months of preparation, the Battle of the Nations is about to begin.
USA! USA! USA!
The tournament site itself is a cross between an Olympic village and a pop-up medieval town.
Australia!
The opening ceremony mixes feudal pageantry with modern patriotism. And like all opening ceremonies, it goes on way too long. But with the formalities out of the way, the Australians prepare for their opening match against Finland.
Getting ready for the first fight, looking forward to it.
It's only awesome. Just trying to really just trying to keep the heart rate down, stay calm, and just save it all for out there.
Now I'm going to bowl like, yeah, I'll go behind you.
Adam's running, and here we go.
Fighters, start battle!
The rules of the game are pretty simple. Once a fighter has 3 points of contact with the ground, he's out of the battle. And so the last team with men standing is the winner. Points are awarded for how many knights survive in each round. For the first 2 rounds, Finland is dominating. Up close, the sheer violence of maces, swords and axes smashing into armour is pretty shocking.
The thrill of being hit repeatedly in the head with a sword and surviving it certainly a ride.
The Australians push back hard, and after 4 brutal rounds, the match is over. And Paul's men are victorious.
Well done, good effort. That was fucking awesome.
So good.
Unfortunately though, Paul, the captain, has been injured.
When I fell down, I twisted.
It took you right in the chest. Did he?
Pulled that long muscle down my back.
As Paul tries to recover, Sky's competition is about to start. But the longsword she's been waiting months for and is supposed to be fighting with never arrived.
So you're fighting with a sword you've never swung?
Yeah, I've just swung those plastic waster ones, so let's hoping it goes well. Oh no, really?
You got
yeah, I haven't
guts,
used
girl.
a proper longsword yet. I'm gonna die.
You're gonna be fine. It's just like,
yeah,
swinging a plastic one. It's gonna be fine.
Sky's drawn the hardest pull in the competition, facing fighters from all 3 of the strongest countries: Ukraine, Belarus and Russia. The Eastern Europeans dominate this sport, and these are Sky's first battles against anyone outside of Australia.
Ready? Let's go.
These one-on-one duels are judged like fencing, and Sky fights valiantly, even pushing the Ukrainian to a rare 4th deciding round. She ultimately loses, but never gets knocked down, and everyone, including her opponents, are impressed by the fight she's shown.
I surprised the crowd. Everyone's like, who's this Australian person? We don't know anything about him. And I went in and walloped her, and they're all like, whoa. So it was very good.
Watching it all unfold, I start to feel both humbled and delighted that so many people have taken the effort to bring their dreams of being a knight to life. For the Australian men, the rest of the afternoon is a struggle. Despite his back, Paul rallies to lead the team into 3 more battles. The Australians win against Luxembourg, but then lose to Argentina, and a blow to the knee takes one of Paul's team out of the tournament.
Medic! Medic is needed on the list.
At this point, I have to admit, I'm getting pretty into this as a sport, and I desperately want the Australians to rally. They regroup to take on the Czech Republic, but it proves to be a slow, grinding fight that ends in another loss.
Are you done for the tournament?
No, we're through the next round, which is always good. Give us a day to recover from any injuries that we picked up. I don't think there was one of us that didn't do as much as they could out there.
You proud?
Yeah.
Their final day turns wet and muddy. It's beginning to truly feel like a medieval campaign. And it turns out the team now has an elimination match against their old foe, the USA.
I want to win this one. Yeah, we'll get him.
Start battle!
This is it. The losing side will be out of the competition, and the fighting is fierce despite all the weariness.
I would say that it's more of a personal challenge. Can I withstand this, you know what I mean? Is my body up to the task? Am I going to get too scared, or am I going to... I want to see what I'm capable of.
By the final round though, Paul is still standing, delivering the blows that fell the final American, and give Australia victory.
That did me proud. they did themselves proud.
You have a good fight? Yeah, vengeance for last year. This is good. That was good. Really happy.
Unfortunately, Australia was knocked out by Italy soon after.
Nice fight, really.
And Russia won the finals, as it apparently always does. At the end of the tournament, the Australians had placed 15th. The best result yet for the team. And I couldn't help but be proud of them. I'm not sure that as a sport, this will ever make it big. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad to know there are Australian knights at large in the world.
It's a very special experience, you know. It's very emotional. It's surreal brotherhood there, I guess, you know, like it's really cool.